In the opening scenes, there lurked a pitiful figure named Tetsuya, a man in his mid-20s, running desperately from feeble goblins, his very life hanging in the balance. Before this unfortunate incident, Tetsuya had been in Japan, where he valiantly rescued a damsel from the clutches of unsightly ruffians. Together, they navigated through a labyrinthine dead end, and as fate would have it, Tetsuya sacrificed himself to ensure the girl's escape over a fence. Yet, his noble act didn't go unpunished, as he bore the brunt of the thug's wrath, enduring a vicious beating. Despite the pain, Tetsuya found solace in his good deed, though his consciousness began to fade, engulfed in darkness. Suddenly, Tetsuya found himself jolting awake to the sound of a woman's voice, a certain Mime, who warmly greeted them as heroes. She divulged that her magical summons had brought them to serve the realm of Arbus, but to her surprise, 6 instead of the intended 4 heroes stood before her, including Tetsuya. She lamented the dire state of humanity, teetering on the edge of extinction due to the relentless assaults from various races. Unfazed by the gravity of the situation, the 4 unsavory thugs among them clamored to return home, only to be met with Mime's cold reality check. There was no place for them back, for they were but lonely, loveless souls in this world. In this realm, strength was quantified by levels, and Tetsuya's appraisal revealed him to be a mere level 1. His potential capped at this paltry stage. The king, in a fit of rage, condemned Tetsuya to the Valley of Death, denouncing him as a worthless virgin destined to meet his end in obscurity. Helpless against the soldier's might, Tetsuya was cast into the abyss, his fate seemingly sealed. Yet, fortune favored him as he landed upon a colossal mushroom, defying certain death. Amidst his contemplation of his predicament, Tetsuya uttered the words, "open status," and to his amazement, a system materialized before him, confirming his status as a hapless loser with meager attributes. However, amidst the despair, he unearthed a unique skill, corpse absorption. Tetsuya saw a glimmer of hope in this newfound ability, but his respite was short-lived as a horde of goblins descended upon him. Ill-equipped for combat, Tetsuya opted for flight, though his efforts were futile as the goblins quickly closed in. Overpowered and outnumbered, he found himself at their mercy, enduring their mockery and blows. Yet, a sliver of opportunity emerged as Tetsuya spotted another valley nearby. With a leap of faith, he plunged into the unknown, his fall softened by the muddy earth below. As he regained his footing, Tetsuya beheld a looming figure, but to his relief, it was naught but a skeletal remnant. Alas, the goblins persisted, their determination unyielding as they pursued him into the depths. With no recourse left, Tetsuya invoked his corpse absorption ability, imbuing himself with the essence of the fallen creature. His strength surged, his stats escalating to newfound heights. In a moment of dire need, Tetsuya seized upon his enhanced capabilities, dispatching his assailants with swift precision. Thus, amidst the chaos and adversity, Tetsuya discovered the latent potential within himself, a glimmer of hope amidst the darkness that engulfed him. The goblins fell one by one to Tetsuya's relentless assaults, each absorbed into him upon defeat, yet their meager contributions to his stats disappointed him. They were no match for his appraisal skill, revealing their low levels and lack of special abilities, mere fodder for his growth. Unfazed by their feeble attempts to harm him, Tetsuya retaliated effortlessly, his strength unmatched. With a single punch, he dispatched a goblin, and with determination, he continued his onslaught. Drawing upon the powerful finishing move learned from the formidable creature, he summoned a meteorite, obliterating the remaining foes. His unique ability to absorb the fallen fueled his resolve. Even at level 1, he vowed to become stronger, driven by the desire for revenge against those who wronged him, thugs and kingdoms alike. In another encounter, a thunderboar threatened him. Despite his initial inclination to flee, Tetsuya faced the creature head-on. Paralyzed momentarily by its lightning strike, he endured, his defense holding firm. The thunderboar's demise came inadvertently, leaving Tetsuya with a new ability, Thunderbolt. Exhausted from battle, he sought respite by an underground lake, contemplating his past failures and regrets. But his musings were interrupted by the appearance of a frail black cat. Concerned for its well-being, Tetsuya's attention was drawn to a looming threat, an absorbent spider. Trapped by its threads, Tetsuya fought back, utilizing his newfound skills. In a desperate gambit, he disabled the spider and rescued the cat. Nursed back to health, the cat transformed into a surprising form, a cat girl named Len. Intrigued yet cautious, Tetsuya learned of Len's age and lineage through his skills. Despite the unexpected turn of events, he accepted her gratitude, recognizing the bond forged through their shared ordeal. Tetsuya, hailed for his valor in vanquishing the spider, found himself pondering the perilous predicament of his companion, Tetsuya, who hastily fabricated a tale of stumbling into the treacherous valley. Seeking an escape route, Lena, who owed her safety to Tetsuya's heroism, volunteered her guidance, promising to elucidate any inquiries he might have. Intrigued by the physiology of beastmen, Tetsuya's curiosity gravitated toward their unique ears. Lena, playfully chiding him as a virgin pervert, bewildered Tetsuya, who, oblivious to the cultural nuances, apologized for any unintended offense. Lena, regretful for her inability to adequately repay Tetsuya's gallantry, proposed leading him to her abode for respite, albeit with an ulterior motive, to introduce him to her esteemed mentor. Their path was soon impeded by a formidable lizard, causing Tetsuya to hesitate. Recognizing its lethal nature, he cautioned Lena of the peril, yet she remained undeterred. With nightfall imminent and spectral entities looming, they reluctantly faced the reptilian adversary. Crafting a strategy, Tetsuya orchestrated Lena's diversion-y tactics, successfully luring the lizard into a confined passage. However, Lena's misstep endangered her, prompting Tetsuya's swift intervention. Employing his thread manipulation abilities, he momentarily restrained the beast, allowing for a decisive strike. Despite their triumph, Tetsuya's exertions left him drained. As he absorbed the fallen foe's essence, curiosity led him to experiment with a toxic mushroom fragment, fortifying his immunity to poisons. Their respite was short-lived as dusk descended, heralding the ominous arrival of spectral apparitions. Lena, intrigued by Tetsuya's absorption capabilities, inadvertently incited the wrath of the spirits, prompting a harrowing confrontation. In a daring move, Lena tested Tetsuya's limitations, igniting a dire skirmish against the vengeful specters. As they urgently sought refuge in Lena's house, surrounded by encroaching spirits of death, Lena invoked her unique ability, Beastify, transforming into a massive feline form. With Tetsuya clinging to her back, they managed to outpace the spectral threat, finally arriving at Lena's sanctuary. To Tetsuya's initial dismay, the seemingly dead-end abode revealed a concealed passage, unveiled by Lena's keen eye. However, in her colossal cat form, Lena lacked the dexterity to manipulate the hidden entrance with her oversized paws. Exhausted from her transformation, she reverted to her diminutive black cat form, prompting Tetsuya to scoop her up. With Lena's guidance, they breached the secret door, stepping into the house's interior. Their entrance was met with a scolding from an unexpected source, a small talking teddy bear. To Tetsuya's astonishment, the bear, despite its comical appearance, chided Lena for venturing out at night. Suspicion immediately fell upon Tetsuya, with the bear accusing him of nefarious intent and making crude remarks about his appearance. The confrontation escalated as the bear struck Tetsuya on the head, causing him to release Lena. Accusations flew, with the bear branding Tetsuya as a virgin interloper with ill intentions towards Lena. However, Lena, regaining consciousness, quickly intervened, setting the record straight and revealing Tetsuya's role in aiding her return home. The teddy bear, named Mech, humbly apologized to Tetsuya and expressed gratitude for his assistance. Curiosity piqued, Tetsuya employed his appraisal ability, uncovering Mech's true identity as an elderly elf trapped in the form of a teddy bear by a malevolent curse. As conversations unfolded, Mech is passed as an elf princess and her current predicament came to light. Tetsuya, though initially skeptical, chose to believe her, swayed by the authenticity of her tale, confirmed by his appraisal. Grateful for Tetsuya's help, Mech extended hospitality, inviting him to stay the night. However, Tetsuya's primary concern was finding a way out of the valley. Mech provided crucial information about the dangers they faced and the formidable obstacles blocking their path. Discussion turned to a potential solution involving defeating a powerful golem, a task only achievable with Mech's true form and Tetsuya's assistance. Despite initial doubts about Tetsuya's capabilities, Mech recognized his potential and offered to train him in swordsmanship. Tetsuya, armed with his unusual skills and high stats, embarked on rigorous training under Mech's tutelage. As he honed his swordsmanship, Tetsuya's resolve solidified, understanding the gravity of the challenges ahead and the necessity of mastering his abilities to overcome them. As dangerous beings lurked in the shadows of this world, Tetsuya found solace in the safety of the valley's depths. Immersed in the tranquility of his bath, he reflected on his gratitude for a secure haven and the invaluable lessons in both magic and swordsmanship imparted by Mech. Yet, amidst his contemplation, worries stirred within him. The notion of encountering an adversary with a daunting level cap of 125 troubled Tetsuya. How many foes would he need to overcome to match such overwhelming power? Such thoughts occupied his mind as he mulled over strategies against those capable of single-handedly dismantling entire nations. In the quiet of the night, Lena, bereft of her usual plot armor, unexpectedly joined him in the bath. Tetsuya, wary of trouble, sought to avoid any unnecessary commotion. However, Lena's presence disrupted the tranquility, prompting Mech's intervention to quell the confusion. Though bemused by Tetsuya's apprehension, Lena extended an invitation for Mech to join them, coaxing the shy automaton into the waters. Despite initial reluctance, Mech relented, unable to resist Lena's gentle insistence. The following day heralded Tetsuya's final preparations for his impending trial. Confident in his abilities, he faced off against a fiery adversary, a flame weasel, under Mech's watchful gaze. Evading the creature's fiery onslaught with finesse, Tetsuya swiftly dispatched it, only to discover an unsettling truth. The beast remained alive, poised for a retaliatory strike. With deft precision, Tetsuya intervened, averting disaster and showcasing his prowess. As evening descended, Tetsuya contemplated his departure from the sanctuary of the valley. Mech inquired about his future plans, prompting Tetsuya to reveal his aspirations to prove his mettle to the kingdom of Arbus. Fueled by a desire to defy those who'd scorned him, Tetsuya harbored a fervent determination to assert his strength and vanquish his detractors. Amidst his reflections, an unexpected encounter ensued as Lena, assuming her diminutive feline form, ventured closer to Tetsuya with intimate intentions, disrupting his thoughts with a clandestine embrace. As the night descended, Tetsuya found himself wrestling with the discomfort of his sleeping arrangements inside the tent. He grumbled about waking up with a stiff back, likening it to a sword's rigidity. Observing their banter, Mech remarked on the familial dynamic between them, likening Tetsuya and Lena to a father-daughter duo. Lena, amused by the comparison, expressed her desire for Tetsuya to play the role of her Janwa endearment. Mech, in jest, suggested she could be Lena's mother, sparking playful speculation about their relationship. However, Lena playfully shattered the light-hearted mood by teasing Mech about her age, implying she was old enough to be a grandmother. Mech, a sprightly 81-year-old elf, defended her youthful spirit, hoping that Tetsuya would one day see beyond her cursed appearance. Amidst their camaraderie, they shared a heartfelt moment, expressing their hopes of staying together beyond their journey through the Valley of Death. As Tetsuya drifted into slumber, Mech noticed the scars adorning his hands, a testament to his trials. Realizing his attempt to conceal them out of consideration for her feelings, Mech tenderly apologized, promising to bear the weight of his scars alongside him for life. In a touching gesture, she vowed eternal support, holding Tetsuya's hand as her true elven form briefly flickered into view. The following day marked the beginning of their journey, fraught with encounters with goblins and challenges aplenty. Despite Tetsuya's perceived lack of progress, Mech and Lena commended his steady advancement, a feat becoming increasingly rare in their world. Lena proposed a cemetery visit to bolster his strength, but Mech recoiled at the suggestion of necromantic practices. As they neared a towering golem, tensions rose. Tetsuya, assessing the threat, discerned its formidable level. Mech, ever the strategist, devised a plan of attack, utilizing Lena's transformative abilities and their combined prowess. Yet, as they engaged the golem, unforeseen barriers impeded their progress, leading to a harrowing confrontation. In the face of peril, Tetsuya's courage shone through, defying the odds and rallying his companions. Ultimately, through resilience and teamwork, they triumphed over the golem, albeit not without sacrifice. Tetsuya's valorous act saved his comrades, but not without consequences. Mech, momentarily oblivious to the plot armor shielding the protagonist, mourned his apparent demise, only to be astounded by his miraculous survival. In the end, it was their unity and determination that saw them through, forging bonds stronger than steel amidst the trials of their quest. With a swift flick of his finger, Tetsuya unleashed the meteor skill, directing it straight at the golem's core, shattering the barrier Lena had been struggling to breach. Seizing the opportunity, Lena vaulted towards the exposed core, delivering the decisive blow that clinched their victory. As the dust settled, Tetsuya, drained of strength, managed to absorb the fallen golem, bolstering his stats and regaining his vigor. Their celebration was short-lived as the exit door creaked open, revealing the ominous figure of a black knight. Bewildered by this unexpected arrival, they pondered the identity of this mysterious intruder. Tetsuya attempted to appraise the knight, only to find his skill ineffective against someone of extraordinary status, suggesting the Black Knight's formidable level of 100. Uncertain about facing such a powerful foe, especially with the exit tantalizingly close, Tetsuya sensed an absence of hostility from the Black Knight. With a mixture of curiosity and caution, he attempted to engage the knight in conversation, but the knight simply extended his hand. Despite Mech's warnings, Tetsuya, feeling compelled, accepted the handshake. To everyone's surprise, the Black Knight challenged Tetsuya to a thumb war. Perplexed but willing to play along, Tetsuya found himself suddenly overwhelmed by a potent aura emanating from the knight. In a flash, the Black Knight vanished, leaving Tetsuya dazed and disoriented. Concerned for his well-being, Mech inspected Tetsuya's hand, discovering a fleeting black mark that quickly faded. Suspecting a curse, Mech advised caution, while Lena confirmed the foul odor emanating from Tetsuya's hand. Hastily covering it, they departed the Valley of Death, only to stumble upon a battlefield teeming with conflict between lizards and goblins. Observing the chaos, Mech cautioned against Tetsuya absorbing the fallen corpses, opting instead to leave the battlefield behind. Meanwhile, in the Fang Beastman territory, a fierce war raged between humans and beastmen, with the humans surprising their adversaries with their strength. Upon reaching the city of Maestros, faced with the need for funds, Tetsuya reluctantly agreed to whatever means necessary. However, Mech proposed a more lucrative option, the Gladiator Arena. There, Tetsuya faced off against three formidable opponents, including a disdainful fatso and a scrutinizing elf. In the bustling world of adventurers and guilds, amidst the clash of swords and the crackle of magic, there stood Tetsuya, a young warrior filled with both ambition and uncertainty. Mech, the boastful fishman who flaunted his level 27 prowess while his comrades trailed at levels 23 and 30 respectively. Tetsuya couldn't shake the gnawing worry that perhaps his companions were leagues ahead of him in strength, but Mech, ever the confident one, reassured him with a smirk, reminding him that they were mere side characters in his story, easily conquerable with his own might. However, Mech's arrogance provoked their opponents. The ugly brute among them, known as Fatso, launched a furious punch at Tetsuya, sending him careening through the air. Yet, Tetsuya remained unfazed. With grace, he sidestepped Fatso's subsequent charge and delivered a lightning-fast kick to his adversary's face, rendering him unconscious. The vengeful fishman then lunged at Tetsuya with his spear, but Tetsuya danced around each strike effortlessly, earning the begrudging respect of his foe. Seizing the opportunity, Tetsuya incapacitated the fishman with a surge of electric energy. As the elf unleashed torrents of flame magic, indifferent to the well-being of his companions, Tetsuya evaded the deadly onslaught with nimble agility. With swift precision, he dispatched his fallen foes to safety before hurling Fatso into the path of the elf, rendering him unconscious as well. Yet despite his impressive display of skill, the owner of the Gladiator Arena denounced Tetsuya's victory as cheating, denying him the rightful prize. Cast out without recompense, Tetsuya learned a harsh lesson, the perils of chasing quick riches and the folly of trusting in false promises. Undeterred, Tetsuya and Lena, his steadfast companion, turned to Mech with resolve. Together, they resolved to carve their path through the world of monsters and peril, seeking fortune through honest means. But in a world ravaged by war and distrust, their options were limited. Forced to seek refuge within the ranks of a guild, they embarked on a journey fraught with uncertainty. As they approached the guild's imposing doors, a chance encounter with a minotaur served as a testament to Tetsuya's burgeoning strength, instilling fear in even the mightiest of creatures. They were greeted by a vision of beauty, a human receptionist a rarity in their travels. Guided by her welcoming demeanor, they learned of the guild's inner workings and the responsibilities that came with their newfound status as adventurers. In a test of their abilities, Tetsuya's latent power stunned the receptionist, his potential far surpassing his meager level. With Mech's inclusion into their ranks, they overcame the hurdle of payment, securing temporary guild cards and the promise of their first mission. But Mech's theatrics threatened to unravel their plans, her desperate pleas for leniency drawing unwanted attention. Through a stroke of luck, the receptionist offered them a chance to prove themselves, directing them towards the mission board and the promise of adventure. With determination burning in their hearts, Tetsuya's group wasted no time in selecting their first mission, heedless of its dangers. As they departed, a curious chicken man observed their departure, while the receptionist could only shake her head at their impatience. In the distant north, within the confines of a forbidding castle, an ogre queen observed the unfolding events with keen interest, her plans set in motion. And thus, Tetsuya's journey into the unknown began, filled with trials and tribulations, yet tempered by the bonds of friendship and the promise of glory. The leader, known as the Baldman, chastised Haramu Oshima, currently leveled at 89 but capped at 95, questioning who granted him permission to eliminate others without authorization. Haremu promptly apologized, but the leader lamented the shortage of manpower, emphasizing the impracticality of relying solely on slaves and soldiers. He clarified their objective wasn't akin to that of a demon king aiming to obliterate the world, but rather to reclaim territory and establish dominance alongside humanity. Another thug, Sakai, currently leveled at 94 with a cap of 99, relished a meal while outside the battlefield. Meanwhile, a third thug, T-Yoon, at level 80 with a cap of 93, faced the leader's reprimand for failing to conquer even a single territory. He stubbornly defended his methods, but Haramu sided with the leader, causing to erupt in anger and impulsively behead Haramu's partner. The leader, revealed as Yamashideo, now level 99 with a cap of 125, presided over the meeting. T stormed out, cursing his comrades and branding them as fools. Determined to seize territories, T decided to target the Dwarves, but was cautioned by his soldiers about their formidable defenses. They proposed attacking the larger and potentially more manageable elven territory, a suggestion T readily accepted. Tetsuya's group encountered a formidable black humongous cow, catching them off guard. Despite Mech's miscalculation about the cow's mutant nature, Tetsuya intervened, employing various skills to halt the creature's advance. Utilizing a curse ability, Tetsuya managed to defeat the cow, albeit causing friction within the group. Returning to the guild, the receptionist expressed concern for Tetsuya's group's safety, spotting them carrying the massive cow. Her colleague urged action. The guild staff busied themselves with the aftermath as Tetsuya's group caused a stir, leaving blood in their wake. The Chicken Man and his party congratulated Tetsuya's group for their success, offering drinks and commendation for their feat. Despite the commotion, Tetsuya apologized, but the Chicken Man reassured him, acknowledging their valuable contribution to the guild. As Mech contemplated their next mission, the receptionist intervened, asserting control over their assignments for the time being. While recognizing their strength, she hesitated to entrust them with missions from other territories. Mech inquired about a special reward for the black cow, receiving a check to cover the costs incurred from the uproar caused. In the end, Tetsuya's group found themselves in debt, a reminder that even significant contributions can lead to unexpected outcomes. Assigned to gather mushrooms in the depths of Samaki Cave, their recent missions had been anything but ordinary, from demolishing goblin nests to exterminating a gargantuan slime, and even facing off against a pack of kobolds. Mech believed strongly in their capabilities, urging them to undertake even greater challenges. Though Tetsuya had received some equipment from the receptionist, which he initially deemed superfluous, fate had it that Chicken Senpai bestowed upon Tetsuya his old sword, now too small for Senpai's own. In the present moment, Tetsuya proposed a meticulous approach to each task, aiming to earn recognition and eventually secure a regular license for exploration within the cave. Amidst their search for monsters, they stumbled upon a human captive, bound in the sinister ambience of what Mech identified as a demon's altar. Suddenly, a magical aura surged from a circle on the ground, conjuring forth a demon knight of considerable prowess. Tetsuya analyzed the knight and discerned it to be of a greater demon caliber, level 88. Prepared for combat, they engaged the formidable foe. Lenya, with her beastly instincts, attempted an assault, only to find herself ensnared by the demon's grasp. Tetsuya intervened, his sword aimed for the demon's vulnerable points, yet to no avail. Lenya's efforts, too, proved ineffective against the demon's resilience. Even Tetsuya's acid shot failed to make an impact. As the demon aimed its lethal claws towards Tetsuya, Lenya managed to whisk him away from harm's reach. Unleashing a barrage of fireballs, Tetsuya and Lenya braced themselves for the demon's onslaught. However, a sinister force emerged from Tetsuya's cursed hand, causing Lenya to succumb to its repulsive influence. To their astonishment, the demon spoke, recognizing Tetsuya as hailing from the abyss, a revelation that bewildered them all. Declaring Tetsuya's erasure as imperative, the demon unleashed its full magical might, morphing into its most formidable form. In a flurry of dark energy, the demon launched a devastating assault, obliterating Tetsuya, or so it seemed. In a realm beyond the mortal coil, Tetsuya found himself in the abyss, a dimension detached from reality. Confronted by a talking skeleton, he learned of a king represented by a giant eye awaiting his arrival. As Tetsuya grappled with his predicament, a violent disturbance shook the abyss, signaling the demon's continued onslaught in the real world. Back in the material realm, Mech valiantly stood against the demon's fury, striving to protect Tetsuya's incapacitated form. As the demon's onslaught persisted, Tetsuya realized the necessity of absorbing the fallen comrades to confront the demon. Reluctant yet determined, he embraced the cursed power within him, repelling the demon's assault and resuming his original form. With newfound strength, Tetsuya unleashed his cursed abilities upon the demon, overwhelming it with a barrage of skeletal strikes and powerful blows. Recognizing Tetsuya's potential as a successor to the Abyss King, the demon attempted to flee, only to meet a decisive end at Tetsuya's hands. Absorbing the defeated demon, Tetsuya emerged victorious, albeit battered and uncertain of his own survival. Returning to their inn, they found solace in each other's company, sharing a communal bath as they processed the harrowing ordeal. Mech, still wary of Tetsuya's newfound powers, expressed concern for his well-being, while Tetsuya himself grappled with the implications of his curse. As Mech sought a way to return to her original form, Tetsuya obliged, granting her transformation with the release skill acquired from the fallen demon. In the tranquility of the bath, amidst the steam and camaraderie, they found a moment of respite, a brief interlude before their next adventure in the ever-unpredictable depths of Samaki Cave. Mech, a youthful and radiant elf, was filled with elation as she regained her form after 60 long years. Admiring her restored beauty in the mirror, she couldn't help but revel in the sight of her own reflection. Joining Tetsuya in the bath, she playfully teased him about his short sword, a jest that seemed to excite her. However, Tetsuya couldn't shake off his initial impression of Mech as a mere stuffed animal, leaving his short sword unresponsive. Frustrated by Tetsuya's reaction, Mech continued her teasing, remarking on the favorable camera angle before confessing that her earlier mention of taking Tetsuya as her groom in the Valley of Death was not merely jest. She genuinely planned to whisk him away to her homeland and make him her husband. In her reasoning, since their fates were bound to intertwine sooner or later, why not seize the opportunity now? I support your idea, Elf Mama chimed in just as Mech was about to lean in for a kiss. Suddenly, she transformed back into her stuffed animal form, much to her dismay. No, she muttered as Futesia reminded her of the time limit of her release skill, merely 2 minutes. Embarrassed, Mech hastily retreated from the bathroom, her emotions in disarray. The next day, they embarked on a mission with the Oxmen to apprehend a band of lizardmen thieves. Despite their efforts, the lizardmen proved elusive, swiftly evading capture. Tetsuya's skill came into play as he managed to capture one using his Absorb Tread skill. Back at the guild, the Oxmen boasted of their success, but Chicken Semai revealed that he had deliberately let the lizardman boss escape. Praising Tetsuya's contribution, an argument ensued between the Oxmen and Chicken Semai. Tetsuya diplomatically intervened, suggesting that perhaps the Oxmen's strategy was deliberate, aimed at providing them with valuable experience. Pleased with the notion, the Oxman relented. However, their focus soon shifted as the receptionist interrupted, informing them of a dire situation unfolding in the elf territory. Mech's curiosity piqued. She inquired about the situation, learning of a looming war and oppression by humans. As rumors of a hero's involvement circulated, Chicken Senpai recounted tales of past conflicts, shedding light on the origins of the ongoing territorial wars. Mech's initial pride in her race's resilience waned as Chicken Senpai's description of the elf commander as rude and temperamental irked her. Concerned for her homeland, Mech urged Tetsuya to prepare for the impending battle and to hone his skills, including the Dark Blast skill acquired from a greater demon. Tetsuya discovered the skill's limitations during training, prompting Mech's worry about the elf territory's safety, suspecting a connection to the elusive 4 virgin thugs. As Tetsuya tested his abilities, the city's alarm sounded, signaling an emergency. An urgent broadcast revealed the imminent danger facing the elf territory, sending shockwaves through the guild. Eager for information, Mech, accompanied by Tetsuya, sought answers despite the chaos. Oblivious to the gravity of the situation, they approached the overwhelmed receptionist, inadvertently causing a commotion that resulted in the receptionist's towel slipping off. Mech's attempt to grasp the report paper only added to the receptionist's frustration, earning Mech a sharp reprimand. As the receptionist briefed the gathered elves on the dire situation, 3 elven castles fallen, with Braxel Castle next in line. Mech's heart sank with the realization of the impending conflict. As T pressed on in his conquest, M questioned his haste in destroying the elf territory. She pointed out that the other 3 heroes were taking their time and enjoying themselves, while T expressed his desire to finish quickly and return to his world. Mem suggested that T cooperate with Oshima, but T, disliking the idea, destroyed half of the castle with a single swing of his sword. Back at the guild, T-Se's group expressed their desire to go to the elf territory. However, since they were not elves, the guild initially hesitated to allow them. The receptionist then stated they could go if they partnered with a regular licensed member as their super. Fortunately, the Oxman appeared, enabling them to travel to the elf territory. Tasse's group managed to reach Braille Castle, where they investigated the situation and discovered that the place was overrun with Fang Beast Fold zombies. These zombies were created by humans who used necromancy on the corpses of Fang Beastfold to turn them into enslaved soldiers. They devised a plan. Oxman, Mem, and Lenia would infiltrate the castle and destroy the boss controlling the zombie spell, while Tetsuya would distract and lure the zombies away. Tetsuya began by firing a barrage of fireballs at the zombies, successfully luring them into battle and keeping them occupied according to the plan. Meanwhile, Mem, Lenia, and Oxman infiltrated the castle with ease and made their way to the hall. There, they encountered some human soldiers and discovered a crystal device controlling the beast zombies. The soldiers commanded the zombies to attack them. Oxman and Lenia easily defeated the zombies, but the waves of enemies seemed endless. Mem instructed Lenia to stop fighting the zombies and target the device. Lenia leaped up and kicked the device, destroying it and causing all the zombies to vanish. They then captured the human soldiers. Mem did information about the rumors regarding the heroes. The soldiers confirmed that a hero had single-handedly conquered the elf castle, and they had simply ravaged the fleeing elves and held the captured castle. One soldier insulted TSA for being a human who betrayed his race to join the Beastmen. Another soldier recognized Tetsuya's face and realized he was the level 1 failure. To the surprise of Mem, Lenia, and Oxman, they realized that Tetsuya was one of the heroes summoned to this world. The soldiers were shocked to see Tetsuya still alive after being thrown into the Valley of Death. Tetsuya also realized that these were the soldiers who had cast him out as they insulted him for being a failure. Mem, Lenia, and the Oxman kicked them out of the window, forcing them to face the same fate they had imposed on Tetsuya. Grateful for their defense, Tetsuya thanked them and revealed the truth about his identity. Mem understood why Tetsuya had little knowledge of this world and began to believe in the secret art of summoning heroes from another world. Tetsuya disclosed that there were a total of 6 heroes summoned from another world, with 4 recognized as heroes, one of whom had a level cap of 125. He then remembered the girl he saved at the start and wondered about her fate in this world. Mem grasped the gravity of the situation, realizing that the hero who conquered this castle had a level cap of 93. She believed that Tetsuya was the only one capable of saving the elven race in the Fajan capital, where the Elf Queen resided. General Raymer approached her to report on the situation. The Elf Queen proposed a strategy to gather all their remaining forces in the wide plains, engaging the human army, where they could utilize their magic power to the fullest and wipe them out in one fell swoop. The elf soldiers gathered to strategize and prepare for the impending war. On the day of the battle, as the human army approached the Fujian capital, General Raymer commanded his troops to start their magic chant. Unexpectedly, the human army halted their advance, except for Takai, who moved forward alone, surprising the Elf Queen. She appraised Takai and discovered he was at level 91. Ignoring the Elf Queen's order to stick to plan, Takai charged forward, cutting down any elf who tried to stop him. When he spotted the Elf Queen, he leaped towards her, intent on ending her life. General Raymer intervened just in time, using his magic barrier to protect the Queen from Takai's slash. However, the attack was so powerful that it nearly wiped out the entire elf army. As the Elf Queen struggled to her feet, she realized Takai was already beside her, ready to strike. At that critical moment, Tetsuya fired a fireball, managing to divert Takai's attention and rescue the Queen. Tetsuya helped the Elf Queen to her feet and showed her their guild license, indicating that they had come to help and aimed to eliminate the hero. The Elf Queen was skeptical given Takai's level of 91, but her doubts began to wane when she saw the meteor cast by Tetsuya from the sky. She realized Tetsuya might be capable of defeating Takai, and questioned if he was truly human. Despite her hesitation to trust Tetsuya due to the human race's actions against elf territory, she accepted their help and thanked Mem. Meanwhile, Takai was puzzled by Tetsuya's interference. Tetsuya greeted him, but Takai did not remember him. Out of nowhere, a side character had to come and remind Takai who the main character is. Still, Takai failed to recall Tetsuya as one of the summoned heroes. Takai told Tetsuya to step aside, but Tetsuya directed his. As the summoned heroes clashed, Tetsuya was instructed to step aside, but he defied the order, directing his gaze to the heavens where a meteor threatened to descend. The elf army retreated from the fray, while the humans scrambled to evade the impending catastrophe. Tetsuya, with lightning crackling from his fingertips, paralyzed the human forces, but Takai, undeterred, unleashed a devastating slash. Lina intervened, aiding Tetsuya's evasion just in time. The meteor crashed upon the human forces, seemingly securing victory, until it was unexpectedly sundered into pieces. Tia, seizing the moment, charged at AT, grasping his visage and unleashing an acidic assault. Despite the direct hit, its remarkable regenerative abilities forestalled his demise. With a swift blow, he sent Tsuya hurtling through the air, only for Mech and Lina to intercede, saving him from further harm. Lina, depleted of her energy, transformed into her diminutive feline form, declared his intent to dispatch Tetsuya for marring his visage. Mech, ever the strategist, instructed Tetsuya to enact Battle Plan 3, prompting him to unleash the release skill upon Mech herself, revealing her true form. The transformation elicited shock among the elven ranks, including the recognition of Mech as the elder sister by the Elf Queen. With Mech engaging Takai alone, Tetsuya began charging his Dark Blast skill, even as Takai threatened devastation. As Tetsuya concentrated, Takai's ferocious assault tested the limits of Mech's metal defenses. Despite sustaining damage, Mech persisted, tapping into the Queen's Great Barrier, an ancient defense that had thwarted human invasions in ages past. With every ounce of her strength, Mech maintained the barrier, buying precious time for Tetsuya's charge. As the battle raged, Mech's powers waned, and she reverted to her plush form, her sister seamlessly taking over the barrier's maintenance. Determined to protect Tetsuya and secure victory, General Raymer and the elven soldiers rallied behind the barrier, despite facing relentless assaults from Takai. In the midst of chaos, Tetsuya wrestled with his conscience, torn between releasing the Dark Blast prematurely to save his comrades or heeding Mech's urging to continue charging. With the barrier on the brink of collapse, Tetsuya made his decision. Breaking through the faltering defense, Takai prepared to strike, only to be thwarted by the heroic intervention of an Oxman, sacrificing himself to save his comrades. Seizing the opportunity, Tetsuya unleashed his Dark Blast, the surge of energy propelling Takai skyward and obliterating the zombie slaves. Amidst the chaos, a sudden onslaught of arrows decimated the remaining human soldiers, courtesy of the returning elves from the guild. With the threat neutralized, the elves celebrated their hard-won victory. though they mourned the loss of their fallen comrades. As the dust settled, Mech and Tetsuya reflected on the heavy toll of war, yet found solace in the resilience of their allies. With the Oxman's life spared and the healing touch of the current elf queen, hope bloomed anew in the aftermath of battle. However, doubts lingered in Tetsuya's mind, questioning whether his attack had truly vanquished T, a foe he deemed a hero, not easily defeated. In a distant forest, amid the echoes of the blast, T emerged, miraculously alive, his vendetta against Tetsuya burning stronger than ever. At the outset of this revelation, it became apparent that he was still breathing, and there it was, like deja vu all over again. Tai found himself in the midst of orc territory, his nerves on edge as a horde of orcs advanced towards him. Just as he braced himself, a multitude of orcs emerged from the forest, catching him off guard. Suddenly, a figure atop the mountain greeted him, descending to reveal himself as Riai disclosed his purpose for venturing into orc territory, seeking a formidable adversary. He expressed disappointment in the weakness of the orc king, stirring the ire of the orc horde, thirsty for revenge. Observing the scar on Tai's face, Rai remarked upon it, asserting Tai's inferiority among their group of four. He cautioned Tai against reckless actions that could lead to his demise, sparking a fire within Tai, who vowed to eradicate every last orc. He implored Riai to wait, expressing a desire for discourse after dealing with the orc threat. Meanwhile, in the serene confines of elf territory, Saku and Mech luxuriated in a tranquil bath together. Amidst the serenity, Saikyou yearned for Mech to reclaim her role as queen. Mech, burdened by a curse, explained her inability to resume the throne, fearing division among the united elf tribe. Changing the subject, Saku probed about Tetsuya, Mech's disciple. Mech hesitated, portraying Tetsuya as merely a student, though she acknowledged his uniqueness as a summoned hero from another realm. Saikyou, reassured by Mech's words, expressed her desire to share a bond with Tetsuya, with Mech playfully declaring him as her husband. The following day, a debate ensued among the generals regarding Mech's potential reinstatement as queen, citing her past contributions. After a fervent exchange, Saku dramatically surrendered her position, placing Mech upon the throne and challenging the populace to accept a stuffed doll as their ruler. To her surprise, the elf tribe found the doll endearing, embracing Mech's return to leadership. However, Mech revealed her indebtedness to the guild, necessitating her departure. Disheartened by Mech's predicament, Saikyou jestingly labeled her a failure, only to be interrupted by a soldier bearing news of a hero's arrival at the capital's gates. Tetsuya's group ventured forth to investigate, stumbling upon Riai and Saikyou enjoying a meal together. Riai, capped at level 99, intrigued Mech, who sought confirmation of his origins from Tetsuya. Tetsuya affirmed Riai's summoning from another world, triggering Riai's recollection of their previous encounter. Riai conveyed Tai's grudge against Tetsuya and issued a one-on-one challenge to settle the score deep within the forest. While Riai expressed disdain for their strength, he warned of dire consequences should Tetsuya refuse the challenge. Amidst the tension, Chicken Senpai arrived, advocating for restraint and respect for Riai's strength. Acknowledging the potential calamity of provoking Riai, Chicken Senpai assured the elf territory of the guild's unwavering support. With confidence in Tetsuya's prowess, they contemplated accepting the challenge, wary of the looming threat to their land. Tetsuya stood amidst the swirling mists of the forest, facing his friend Ti, who had become his adversary in this dire confrontation. The air crackled with tension as they prepared to clash, the weight of their friendship hanging heavily between them. With a grim determination, Tetsuya unleashed a meteor attack, hoping to gain the upper hand. But Ti, with a graceful leap, countered the assault, slicing through the falling meteor with a swift and precise strike. Undeterred, Tetsuya hurled fireballs at his opponent, only to find them ineffective against Ti's deft defenses. Seizing an opportunity, Tetsuya launched an acid shot from behind, yet Ti, ever vigilant, anticipated the move, swiftly grabbing Tetsuya's hand and turning the attack back upon him, piercing his defenses with a mocking taunt. As Tetsuya lay upon the forest floor, wounded but unbroken, he defiantly declared that Ti's assault was insufficient to defeat him. With steely resolve, he rose to his feet, unleashing a flurry of slashes in a style reminiscent of the legendary JoJo. But as the battle raged on, a dark aura began to emanate from Tetsuya's cursed hand, enveloping his form and transforming him into the dreaded Black Knight once more. With renewed strength, this transformed Tetsuya delivered a devastating blow to T, sending him reeling into the abyss. In the depths of the abyss, Tetsuya encountered the enigmatic king, who spoke of a shared destiny and offered him power beyond imagination. Grateful for this boon, Tetsuya pledged to use his newfound strength to protect his friends and confront the looming threats that encroached upon their world. Meanwhile, Tei, undeterred by Tetsuya's tricks and transformations, remained resolute in his quest for victory. With a determination fueled by desperation, he unleashed his legendary mode, a power born from the brink of death, believing it enough to overcome his adversary. Yet, as the battle reached its climax, revelations surfaced about the true nature of their world and the machinations of unseen forces. The King of the Abyss revealed a sinister plot unfolding, threatening to engulf their world in chaos and war. In the face of these dire revelations, Tetsuya accepted a fateful pact with the king, driven by his unwavering resolve to protect his friends and confront the looming darkness that threatened to consume them all. And as the clash between Tetsuya and Tei reached its zenith, a startling revelation emerged, unraveling the mysteries of their conflict and reshaping the very fabric of their reality. His reference to her as a towering figure, the Abyss elucidated that the mark on Sei's hand was not merely a curse, but rather a conduit to unleash further power. She explained that Tetsuya had yet to fully tap into the potential he had acquired from absorbing corpses. Should Tetsuya release this conduit, he could wield unprecedented power. However, the King of the Abyss cautioned that such power, stemming from the Abyss, could draw the attention of demons if wielded improperly. He mentioned the presence of spies who had aligned with the demons, thus urging Tetsuya to eliminate any witnesses of his newfound power to safeguard his loved ones. Tisha inquired about the necessity of using the curse mark each time he perished, but the skeletal woman reassured him that he could simply release the curse's power at will. As Tetsuya returned to the tangible realm through a portal, the king elucidated that despite Tetsuya's ability to resurrect, his body was not immortal. In a few decades, his body would decay at an accelerated rate compared to elves, and his soul, along with the absorbed souls, would ultimately return to the abyss. Understanding the stakes, Tetsuya absorbed the corpses from the abyss before re-entering the real world. Upon confronting T once again, Tetsuya promptly unleashed his curse power using release, summoning a formidable star platinum behind him, poised to deliver devastating JoJo-style punches. In their intense clash, Tetsuya and Takai exchanged rapid blows and slashes, with T seeming to falter under Tetsuya's onslaught. In a fit of rage, Takai severed one of the stand's arms, only to witness it sprout numerous skeleton fists that relentlessly pummeled him. As T struggled to stand, a meteor hurtled towards him. Annoyed by Tetsuya's repetitive tactic, Takai prepared to shatter the meteor, only to be ensnared by a spider's sudden appearance, binding him with its threads. The meteor struck Takai directly, leaving Tetsuya cautiously observant, skeptical of Takai's seemingly easy defeat. Indeed, Takai boasted about his unbeatable regeneration skill in Legend mode, declaring Tetsuya had no chance of victory. Tetsuya, undeterred, channeled a spirit bomb through his stand, preparing for his final attack. As Takai countered with a blast of his own, Tetsuya drew his sword and dashed forward, slicing him in half. Though Takai's lower body separated, his regeneration ability could not prevent his eventual demise. In his final moments, Takai expressed regret for being summoned to this world, deeming himself the weakest hero and longing to return to his own realm. Despite absorbing Takai's corpse and feeling sympathy for his plight, Tetsuya disagreed with his methods. With Takai's demise, only 3 heroes remained. Tisha, running back through the distant forest towards the elves' castle, was concerned for everyone's safety, not fully trusting Rei's assurance that he wouldn't harm elf territory. As he approached, the sounds of commotion filled him with dread, yet to his surprise, he found the crowd cheering for Chicken Senpai, engaged in an arm wrestling match against Rei. Despite the handicap of a heavy metal ball bound to his arm, Eri, eager for another round, was healed and buffed by Saikyou and other elves to increase his strength. Ryan agreed to another match, increasing the metal ball's weight to 10. Puzzled by the scene, Tetsuya attracted the crowd's attention, celebrating his victorious return. Locking eyes with Rei, Tetsuya confirmed Takai's demise, handing over Takai's sword. Rei accepted Takai's fate, considering him just another virgin loser destined for such an end. As Rei prepared to leave, he shared valuable information, revealing Takai's attempts to sabotage Kaito's plans out of frustration for his status as the weakest hero. I assured the elves that humans wouldn't attack their territory immediately, but warned them to prepare for another war when Kaito eventually sought to conquer the east. Departing, the elves initially worried about the impending conflict, knowing Tetsuya wasn't a part of elf territory. However, Tsukuri assured them of Tetsuya's forthcoming aid, envisioning him as Mech's husband and a crucial ally in defeating the other heroes. With a sense of relief and security, the crowd cheered, emphasizing the need for strengthened coordination between the elves and the guild. Chicken Senpai bid farewell to the elves, instructing Tetsuya to return to the guild, having stayed in the elf territory for an extended period. Mech entrusted the queen's position to Sue as they parted ways. Tetsuya promised to protect Mech and assured Sak that he would handle everything. Saikyou expressed her gratitude and desire to share future events with Tetsuya. Upon returning to the guild, the receptionist, who had been worried about Tetsuya's group, was relieved and delighted to see them back.